Bree is here.
Bree
Hello,
is here.
Bree. And thank you again for your question. We will read
Mhm.
through it. I'll read through it, and I will give Ryan the opportunity to speak about it first.
Okay.
Bree states, so I've dealt with a lot since before Christmas. I broke up with my boyfriend, and when I did, he tried to kill himself on camera. He almost overdosed, but he threw it up. He recently texted me, too. He texted me a whole paragraph basically saying that he only loved me because he didn't want to be alone. He used me for his own benefit, and I loved him with all my heart. I still can't hate him, though. I hate what he did, but I can't hate him. I hate it, but it's true. On top of that, my cousin died on New Year's. He was found in the woods dead. He was hanging. He was found hanging from a tree. I knew him pretty well, and it hurts. My heart hurts so much. I feel so utterly broken, and I just want to end it all. I want that more than anything right now. I want to, but I'm scared to. I'm too scared to hurt anyone. I don't want to hurt the ones I love, but I feel more scattered and hurt than I have in a long time. I feel more broken. I just hate it all the pain, heartache, the numbness. I just don't know what to do anymore. Wow, Bree, I'm gonna post the link to your topic here as well. Bree, I'm so
Mm.
sorry. I'm so sorry that you've got to deal with all that. That's a lot to handle right around the holidays. And
Yeah,
um, wow, Ryan, what do you have anything you can talk about?
sure. I'm really sorry for your loss and for the loss of your cousin. Um, yeah, prayers out to them.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, that'd be good. Some prayers for them. But yeah, I'm really sorry, and I'm lucky enough in my life that I haven't had to deal with a whole lot of family loss myself. I've lost a few family members, but no one that was really close, and so. Um, but I can understand the pain that's there of that, life that's now gone, um, and so you know, that's just how it is. And I think it's always important to remember when you feel that pain. Um, Remember that that pain is there because you are recognizing the value of that person,
Mm.
and that you have that same amount of value. You are equal in value to that person. And so even though you might have the temptation to, as you said, end it all, um, the value of yourself and the amount of pain that it will cause everybody around you is definitely there. But yeah, so that's really hard, and I'm sorry. Uh, as for your boyfriend, um, you said that I found this really interesting and really good, actually. You know, the paragraph he posted to you was saying that he loved you because he didn't want to be alone. Um, I think that basically, from my understanding, he wasn't saying that to make you feel bad. He was saying that because he was putting out his realization in paragraph form for you to see. What I mean is, I've gone through that before. I've gone through something and realized um, something along the lines of, you know, I just loved you because I wanted to feel good about myself. I didn't really love you. I just wanted to be loved. I didn't, I had this obsession over you because, um, I'm dealing with my own internal problems and want to feel that love from you. So like when I say I love you, I don't mean I love you. I mean, do you love me? And I'm waiting for that response. Um, I've been through that personally, and that's not a very good place to be. It's not happy. It's not healthy. And I think that's what they realized, and that's why they posted that. Because that's the realization that a lot of us come to. And I can tell from a lot, if he tried to kill himself, that's a great indicator, a very strong indicator rather, of him just being depressed. Um, And when we're depressed, when we hate ourselves, when we're in that spot in life, it's very natural for our minds to um, fall in love with somebody as a defense mechanism, because we can cling to that love that and affection that they give us in return. Um, but the problem is we don't love ourselves, so we can't really effectively love another person. As weird as that is, a lot of times when we are depressed, um, we struggle with the ability to love other people because our focus is on ourselves. You know, depression requires that you're focused on yourself and that you're really negative. You know, and if you're showering yourself in all of those feelings, those negative, feelings, and you're constantly thinking about yourself, it can be extremely difficult for that kind of person. I don't mean that kind of person like, oh, that kind of person, but to a person that's in that position. Um, uh, it's really hard for them to appropriately love, just because love requires, sacrifice for another person. Love requires that you're wanting the good for another. And if you're constantly focused on the negative of yourself and you don't even want the good of yourself, it's hard to be strong enough to shelter pain for another person or anything along those lines. So I can relate to that. Um, and I can totally relate to that. And I don't think that he ever really intended to hurt you. And he probably did love you to a degree. His emotions were going for you. That's why he was your boyfriend. Um, and sometimes we go through these experiences, and we come out learning a lot about ourselves and learning how to move forward from it. And I hope that that's where he's at. I hope that's where he's at. I hope he's um, able to move forward now that he's figured out a little bit, because I've seen it so many times. It's usually pretty bad when, um, in that scenario, when you're depressed and then you fall in love with somebody, um, and then that person relies on you, but you can't really do much, because you hate yourself. Um, that's really a struggle for both people involved, and my heart is out for both of you because I know what that's like. It's really rough. Um, but your response to that is that you still love him. That's the perfect response. That's you doing it right, honestly. Um, you know, I mean, I can tell you for a great example, my mom still loves my dad, even though he was an absolutely terrible person. I will go as far as to say he was purposefully an evil person. Um, at that time in his life, he was doing a lot of bad things. And that's why they got their divorce. My mom still loves him to this day. Not love him as in I want to be with him, but love him as in I really hope the best for him. I will always love him, and I want. I see you, Bree, and I will. I always want to. I want him to experience the best in life. And that's what love is. And that's good that you still love the person that broke your heart. I Now, if you have a desire to be with them, obviously that's another thing. But that is an emotion and it can change. So with time, things can heal. But yeah, I understand. And I think it's great that you still love them. Just wish for the best of that person, even if they broke your heart, or no longer want to be. They no longer want to be with you, etc. Loving that person is never going to be the wrong thing to do. That's a very good thing. But yeah, I'll go check out my Discord while Joe has some words to say.
Ryan, that what you said so much of what I was planning on saying.
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, so I'm looking at it, and yeah, their intention was to hurt you. Okay, well then you don't have to pay attention to that. They're just stupid. Okay, don't worry about it.
Well, sometimes we do that. It's really sad, but I've dealt with people like that too, where I try and think back on times when I've hurt other people. And there have definitely been times when way younger, when I intended to hurt people. You know, that was the whole reason I was doing what I was doing, was because it was going to hurt them. And that always comes from a place of immense pain. It was because I was in a lot of pain that I wanted to hurt other people. And you know, I look at my life now, and when I hurt people now, it's sincerely an accident. Like, I don't mean to. I don't try to hurt people. It's just that, like I've told my kids, like I've programmed them, I'm good at messing things up. That's one of the things I'm best at, is messing it up. And that's how people get hurt around me, is when I screw something up and I inadvertently hurt somebody. But then I have people in my life that, in response to that, because I make a mistake and then they get hurt over something, they want to get revenge. And so they do something for the sole reason of hurting me back. And that's, you know, it's really hard in the moment, because you sit there and it's like getting sucker punched. You know, you're sitting there like with a bloody nose, and what the heck just happened? You know, I made a mistake and this person got a hurt feeling, and so they did this intentional thing to get revenge, and a little bit more, like to get the exact payback plus a little bit. You know, like it was.
I think that's what this person tried to do. Yeah, yeah, which is not appropriate. It doesn't help.
Yeah.
They're just in a bad moment.
Yeah, and you got to understand, the reason that happens is because that person's in pain themselves. That person is hurting to the point where they're feeling very insecure, and so, excuse me, they feel that that's what their appropriate response is to do. And it's too bad. I used to get really upset about it when this happened, when this type of thing happened. And after I went through it a few times, well, more than a few, a lot of times, I finally realized the type of place they must be in order to do that. And instead of getting upset about it, I really just pitied them.
Sure.
I really just felt bad for them. I felt bad that they were in that place, and I wished that there was something I could do to help them in that pain that they're dealing with. Because I knew that it wasn't really about me. It was about their pain. Now the problem is I wasn't the appropriate person to do anything. If I had tried to do anything to help their pain, it would have just gotten rejected or dismissed, or, you know, gotten back at again, more revenge, right? It would have been seen as an offense. So I wasn't the appropriately placed person. I was not the appropriate person to do that, to help them through this pain. So all I could do was sit there and basically pray for them. That's it. That was the only card I had in my hand that I could play, was pray for them, because there was nothing I could do to help them. Anything I would have tried would have just got met with rejection and hostility. And in that case, it sounds like, from what Ryan's saying, that might be sometimes that might be what you're dealing with this individual, that they're hurting, and so they think that what they need to do is hurt you back. They blame you for their pain, and so they need to hurt you back, even though it's not your fault. It's just the way it is sometimes. Sometimes we get hurt. Sometimes the people around us hurt us the most, like we were talking about earlier. Sometimes we hurt the people closest to us the most. And that's kind of a fact of life. And the more we can grow our hearts with compassion for other people, And that can be super hard, especially like with all the stuff you're going through right now, Bree. I know that to think about growing in compassion for others might be so difficult, because it's like, how do I just deal with all the stuff that's happening to me right now? And that can be absolutely debilitating. It can make you feel totally powerless. And I'm so sorry, again, that you have to go through that, because it's not an easy place to be, and it's painful, and it basically sucks. So one thing I would encourage you to do is go look in the Criminal Idols series and play the song A Reason for Our Suffering. One of the things I've learned is that to suffer well is a healing experience. When you can, going through suffering makes you stronger on the other side of it. I've been through enough suffering to know that that's the case. I know that when I feel pain and I willingly endure it, I come out on the other side stronger, and the relationship is better, and I don't take things quite as seriously because I've been strengthened through that experience. Anytime you exercise, you tear your muscles up. You put little tears in all your muscle fibers. And the healing process from that painful experience is what grows the muscle. And it's the same thing here. The more you are willing to endure, the more you can go through. Even though it's hard, even though sometimes you might just curl up in a ball and cry for a while. I've been there many, many times. That on the other side of it, you'll be capable of handling so much more. And even more importantly, you'll have empathy to help another person through the challenge that they're dealing with. I heard a story recently about a gentleman who had real struggles with drug addiction. He was using a lot of heroin. And so he was using needles, and he ended up getting HIV from the needle, from dirty needles, basically. And then he ended up with AIDS. And he had a major life turnaround in that process. And he turned into a person that helped so many people who were addicts or who had contracted HIV or AIDS. He helped them in ways nobody else could help them, because he had experience there. Nobody else could help them in that way, because nobody else understood at a level that he understood. Right now, the experiences you're gaining are giving you the ability to help people at such a deep level. And when you do that, that's going to be some of the most rewarding times that you experience in your life, when you help another person through an issue, and when you realize that you are the right person because you went through this painful experience. You'll look at yourself and you'll be like, wow, as hard as that was to go through, I'm really glad I did, because there's no way I could have helped this person through that. I've helped other people through marriage issues that I could never help them through if I hadn't had a severely challenging marriage for a while. And that's absolutely the case. So I'm sorry that you have to go through this, Bree, but at the same time, I can't wait to see the person you become and the people that you're able to help.
Mm-hmm.
because your heart will be so seasoned through this, and you'll be the right person at the right time for so many people. I know it's tough to imagine now when you're in the middle of it, but it can be that way. And just remember that everybody here loves you, everybody here supports you, everybody here, we're always so glad to see you here. So
Yeah.
and I see your retracted messages. I didn't see what you said. I'm sorry. But if you gotta go, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if it's something I said. I hope I didn't say anything offensive.
Don't cut your thighs. They're more pretty without them. And you know, we love you. Honestly, here's the thing. Like, okay, so this person wasn't very nice, right? But even though he responded the way he did, which was completely inappropriate, you didn't deserve to get yelled at or whatever, right, Bree? You might think that you deserve it. You didn't deserve it. All right. And if they're treating you terribly, even if that's the case, I still want the best for that person. I want that person to grow beyond that. I want that person to become a better person. And similarly, that's the same love that I have for you, Bree. You might call yourself a demon, right? You might say that you do terrible things. We all do. But I still love you. You know, those things that you do, they don't affect how I feel about you. They don't affect that I want you to just be your best, and I want the best for you. I want you to be happy. I want you to be joyful. I want the world for you, you know? I wish I could give you the world. And I just can't, but still, I still desire those things for you. Even if you make mistakes, even if you go angry sometimes, or, you know, even if you don't do the right things all the time, I still love you. So don't be hard on yourself, you know? We all do stupid stuff that we realize we shouldn't do. But we love you no matter what, Bree. And sorry we can't do better for you, but hope to see you again soon.